सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today's subject is Himalayas. The heaven and the earth. Only one word I need to alter in the title they gave. The heaven on heaven. It is never on the earth. It's never on the earth. We may be able to reach from earth. That does not mean it is on the earth. There is nothing earthly in Himalayas. Even the earth in the Himalayas is not earthly. I don't know what all I can describe about Himalayas. Maybe I will describe the greatness of the physical existence of Himalayas. That's the most happening place in the consciousness. Just like New York, Tokyo, cities, most happening cities in the outer world. Same way, most happening place in the consciousness is Himalayas. All the biggest happenings happening in Himalayas as far as the consciousness is concerned. Whether it is the greatest masters landing in the body or greatest masters taking over the bodies. See, great masters take over the prepared bodies to do their mission. That's what I call enlightenment. Enlightenment can be described even in this way. Great masters just vacate the ordinary will and make that will wither away and take over the body and start doing what they want. Whether great masters landing with a new body or landing on the existing bodies or relaxing from the physical body, all the great happenings go on happen in Himalayas. Even physically, Himalayas is never same. Fastest growing mountain range is Himalayas. 5 millimeter per year. 5 millimeter is not a small joke. The other day I was seeing that BBC's, that Ganges documentary. It was just an ecstasy. How they describe Himalayas and Ganga. Only one thing I can say, that if you have not seen Himalayas, it's almost like you are missing one great dimension of your senses. See, it's like a born blind guy. You can't make him understand what he is missing by being blind from birth. You can't make him understand. Just undescribable. Same way, if you have not visited Himalayas, you can't even understand what you are missing in the level of senses. Same way, if you have not lived in Himalayas, you can never understand what you are missing in the level of mind. Because living in Himalayas teaches something completely different to the mind. Completely different. The other day I was talking that if somebody is not able to settle in my community, for some reason, if they ask for other option, I said that bowl lifestyle will be the lifestyle I will prescribe. Same way, if somebody is not able to, is not happy with this place and wanted the second option, any place, I will prescribe Himalayas. If the second option community they ask, I will prescribe bowls, and second option place if they ask, I will prescribe Himalayas. And bowl in Himalayas. Because it does something totally different. One winter you should spend in Himalayas. So much can happen in you. You have to become Hatha Yogi, nothing can be done. You'll just become Hatha Yogi. If you want to become a Vedanti, just talking, all lousy, tall, go and settle in Kashi. If you want to become Hatha Yogi, means really achieving Yogi, Himalayas is the place. Because very lifestyle will make you Yogi. Even to have a cup of water, you need to climb up and down. For anything, your body needs to move. That's why they say that Tibetans are the people who live longer in the whole earth. Because their very lungs and the body is capable of living with less oxygen. The whole body evolves in such a new way, it can live with less oxygen. Life in Himalayas itself is tapas, yoga. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But what happens in Himalayas in you stays with you. Not just stays in Himalayas. Understand? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But what happens in Himalayas in you stays with you. It doesn't just stay in Himalayas. Himalayas is the place, the most conscious happening. It's again such a experience. It's one of the biggest problems. When the experience goes beyond certain frequency, it only expresses as a deep joy and sweetness in the body, never as words. And I'll have to pick up the words here and there, here and there, here and there, like this. Some statement, what happens in the Vegas stays in Vegas. People will be shocked. How can you connect Vegas and Himalayas? Because I don't have any words, I have to pick up all outrageous words. I have to look out of the box and all outlandish expressions. What to do? All the best things available in the planet Earth are gift of Himalayas to the civilization. Whether it is a great spiritual enlightenment philosophy or the amazing unimaginable, amazing Saraswati civilization in the banks of Saraswati, the first civilization. The extraordinary metaphysical discoveries of rishis. the yoga science, astrology, astronomy, Vastu, gemology, what not, anything worthy in the planet Earth, it's from Himalayas. It's Himalayas which gave birth to the science of ahimsa, coexistence. It's Himalayas which gave birth to all great sciences available to the human beings today. Ganga, which still feeds 1/10 of the world population. 10% of the world population lives in the lap of Ganga. Please understand. It's from BBC's Ganges documentary. Even now, 10% of the world population lives just on one river's lap, Ganga. And Himalayas is responsible, Ganges is responsible for the rishis to have so much of free time and to contemplate and come up with the great metaphysical discoveries. All their basic needs are fulfilled just like that. And grand Himalayas in front. What will you do? You go on, get awestruck, wonderstruck. Your logic gets slapped every time by the unimaginable expression of the cosmos. So naturally you start diving into the mysteries of cosmos. I tell you, the geographical place where a religion originates plays a major role in the depth and purity of religion. Himalayas cannot be ruled by any socio-political laws. That is why the Upanishads and Vedic tradition is completely devoid of any socio-political rules. There is no socio-political part in Upanishads. Pure spiritual science, metaphysical discoveries, that's all. Just science, that's all. That is why still, even now, the sadhus who stay in Himalayas, they consider themselves as the sadhus of the headquarters. See, it's like ashramites who stay in this ashram, they always have the pride, they get the news first. They get the information first. They are in the people in the center of the cyclone, most happening place. So they always feel pride and feel they are little more than the ashramites who are staying in the branch ashrams. Because anything is received by them after these guys receive. So the same way, still in the Himalayas, that sadhus who stay in Himalayas, they claim that they are the headquarters sadhus. Whether in Kumbh Mela or anywhere, they get the first right. They are worthy. They are worthy of getting it because whatever is said and done in Himalayas is Himalayas. I tell you, spending little time in Himalayas really shakes completely your idea of that whole life is secured. See, it's staying in cities where you know thoroughly how you are going to get into the car and what turn and everything and how you are going to come back and lie down in your bed safely. And by living the same thing for 2-3 years, you forget that your life can have some turn and you feel almost like everything is under your control. That is why a small ticket, speeding ticket, shakes your whole being. People shiver. I have seen If they get $100 speeding ticket, they have to pay $200 to a psychiatric doctor. No, really, I have seen people, just one speeding ticket, they have to visit immediately their psychiatrist for that fear stroke or fear attack and what not, and pay few $100 for that guy. Or even that anger and vengeance they cannot tolerate. They go to a lawyer and spend a little more money to stop that speeding ticket. Because unable to handle even a small change. Too secured. I tell you, spend a little time in Himalayas. Either visit or spend a little time in Himalayas. It will teach you life. Because every moment it is different. When you go, the road will be open. After 1 hour, when you want to come back, the road won't be open. Not only open, road will not be there. No, really. Just it will not be there, that's all. And you do not know how many more days it will take for the new road to be created. Suddenly you may need even to be airlifted through helicopters. Those helicopters are bought before the Indian independence. They are brought specially to give independence and freedom to people. Just life. You will just face life face to face. We do arrange so much, take care. But even then, just life is life in Himalayas. You will have a taste of adrenaline in your very tongue. Not just in your body. The adrenaline release will be so much, you will taste adrenaline in your tongue. Because the roads, you just see this side, and the speed with which Ganga is gushing, you will directly reach Calcutta. Before any 911 you call. In India there is no 911. Now they are trying to do 108. In some states they are successful. Like very efficient states like Gujarat and all, they are successful. But even then in Himalayas, nothing. No 108, no 911. Maybe you can chant 108 times Shiva, 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 Shiva. That's all. That can give you much better health than any other 108. You'll just face life face to face. It's good to have the taste of life as it is, without any of your pseudo securities, 911s and any other pseudo securities. Even if your vehicles hit some other vehicle, I have not seen in Himalayas anybody fighting for these accidents. They will hit, they will say, it's okay, Baba, bye. They will not even get down to talk to each other, bye. And they will go, this guy will go, that's all. Because they know that's the way roads are, nothing can be done. And not like the secure cities where the ambulance chasing lawyers make more money than the people who got injured. Really. This contingency, ambulance chasing lawyers, they make more money than the persons who are injured. This is the, you will have just taste of life and how people coexist. That's another one extraordinary thing. Just to be lived. To be lived. Just to be lived. The extraordinary silence which you would have never ever experienced in any city, even if you are staying in a suburb in one corner of any developed country. Unimaginable silence. You can just touch and feel the silence. The heaviness of silence. Once I lived without hearing any artificial sound for 7 days. Not human voice, no artificial sound. Means no sound which happens by human existence. Not even my own sound. 7 days I lived. I just wanted to catch this anahata dhvani. There is a sound which is uncreated, happening in your inner space. So I wanted to catch that sound. So I went and sat in one corner for 7 days. I could catch the glimpse of that anahata dhvani. I'll really recommend everybody to have at least one visit to Himalayas. You see, understand, I am not promoting our trip. Of course, this guy wanted me to talk about Himalayas for the, mainly just to introduce these Himalayas to the world. If you can come with me, that is okay. Otherwise also, at least make one trip. Don't miss Himalayas in your life. Then you will really feel that you missed something really which need to be seen. Himalayas is the Las Vegas created by rishis. I can tell you, it's an extraordinary experience. It will just give you the taste of life. It will teach you life is not just under your control. Life is larger than what you think. I can say the Himalayas is not a just geographical journey. It's a psychological journey. When you go and come back, by the time you are back, you are a different personality. Because your pitta, liver is completely churned and your adrenaline is just blasted. And all hormones. I have seen people just falling into the extraordinary ecstasy and extraordinary joy, because in such a right proportion all these things are created and churned. When the understanding, spiritual understanding is also added by the master, it just puts you in ecstasy and bliss. Especially this trip, the theme is truth is. As I said, You are all going to appear in a documentary which is going to go to the International Film Festival. So, leave Himalayas. That's all. Let you all experience and radiate the eternal bliss. Nityananda. Thank you.
All that I smell, I offer to you, Swami Nityananda. All that I see, all that I hear, I offer to you, Swami Nityananda. Like this dance, and this song, and this joy, I surrender to you. All that I feel, all that I am, dream.